So,
Want to hear a fun fact?
I want to hear a fun fact.
Last week,
Yeah.
things were kind of a kerfuffle, right, in the morning. Apparently, it was being recorded.
Oh, yeah?
And there was a comment from Ken Collins.
Oh, yeah?
That someone brought to my attention, we may need to go back and edit.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty funny, because I was thinking all that same stuff, and I felt like that too.
Okay. Well, I have the mouse works too, so if you want to use that.
Okay, thank you very much.
So when you say Don's bringing the other camera, what's the other camera?
So after, with all of that, the conversation opened after the meeting, what are we doing here? We don't need a second laptop. All we have to do is connect the camera to that. So so he bought a new camera, and then, he's gonna put a microphone system, so, because if we connect this to HDMI, we get the overhead speakers, everyone can hear.
Right.
Is what we discovered.
Mm-hmm.
And, so he's going to bring an external camera that then will pan. And,
Yeah, but if you do, well.
so the IT guy, the nice one,
Chris.
was here, also came in at the end of the meeting, and Don, and so they just kind of reconfigured it.
Oh, okay.
Super simple and inexpensive.
Okay.
So
I
figured,
don't need this?
I don't believe so. So John's bringing the stuff this morning,
All right.
but you've already got it set up awesome, so we may not need it.
Well, I was just worried that, you put the other camera on there, that if you run it through that computer, then that might be the main screen out, because then it'll take away from your camera. It'll just have one camera, and it'll be panoramic, and it won't show the speaker view.
Angie, yeah.
Well, I won't be in charge.
Yeah, well, that's not what I meant, because obviously you know what you're doing, but
No,
I can't even answer questions, because this is not my.
Mine either.
Good morning.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. How are you doing? Hey, Chris, the long telephone cord was in your office, I grabbed that.
Oh, how did it end up there?
I don't know.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the summer she, worked for the Aqua Sox.
Last time
And
I think it's all set up.
Cool.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, I was maybe change up the system a little bit and do the, run the audio through the speaker.
My daughter said the same thing, sure she got a job at her life.
But it did last time, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, typically we just do.
It always works. When it goes through the.
Okay.
Last time we just didn't have a laptop that, had either the adapter wouldn't go into it, without the adapter wouldn't go into it. So we just had to, and I grabbed my Chromebook and it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was gonna set up the panorama camera, which she's saying that Don has another camera that he's gonna put in there. If you put like this camera into that one.
Well,
Well, it
I didn't know. I modeled.
Like. Shouldn't affect the speakers, but I don't think you can draw the internal and the.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. But you would only have the panorama, you would have the.
Correct, yeah. You have the speaker, but they, setting that laptop up in a way that can interact with everybody. Instead of having a laptop here.
Yeah. Right. But if you do that, then you lose your speaker view though, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. So if you put this camera on that one, we're not gonna be able to do that internal. Right. But if you position the laptop with it captures the speaker.
Still not awake,
That's what the speaker.
they're on post up, right?
Maneuver.
Make it interesting, dude. Make it a show.
All right, well, not my circus, not my monkey right now. Well, it is
Yeah.
kind of. I started this.
Started it, dude.
Oh, no, right. Well, the
But
stock
every day.
market's been very disappointing this week.
Yeah, we've
Stock
always
market's
been
been
able to
very
make it work.
disappointing this week.
It's just been, you know,
I heard on
I'm
the
not
radio, they
president
got here,
anymore.
that it's only down about
I had a-
5%.
I had a Zoom account. I think part of it is that, you know, we switched Zoom accounts and people couldn't get on the Zoom account.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Chris, how you doing? Doing well, how are you? Pretty good. Hey, I have a question for you. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
Yeah, so whatever you wanna do.
let's turn this a little sideways.
Which way sideways?
Let's go kind of go over to about there and then this way, so that you can actually see the screen.
Okay,
That's probably good enough, and then I'm gonna put the camera on this.
Yeah, we have to do. Do you have some
so
equipment?
Ken set us up.
Oh,
With the traditional, yeah,
YouTube, not a lot, you know, it's based
so he
on.
brought his stuff and got us payroll.
Are you okay? We can just leave yours running. I
Oh.
brought the,
Perfect.
the other
That's
one.
so-
Yeah, I didn't, I
We
thought-
could do, honestly, similar to this, we could just do a laptop.
Just wanted to make sure we're
Like a
good, right?
camera, Get a tripod.
Oh, yeah, I
you know,
appreciate
with-
that. So,
And with
If you, whatever you wanna do, I mean, if you wanna hook
Let's-
another camera to that one, you can.
press, you
uh,
know.
let's
all depends
try,
on
Rock and roll, so, yeah, that's.
let's try that camera, and
If you put the panorama camera on there, you're only.
I would totally recommend Chromebook or a laptop.
Not gonna
The camera.
well, what we were thinking is pushing this in the corner and just having it hit whatever of the audience we could get plus her.
Okay, well,
So let's try that.
When it started, it's one big branch.
is it for the camera? Yeah, you can get
What?
one of those.
So
He's in Canada.
Hi, Connor.
He's in Canada, so I can be him.
Other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna meet on the Highland.
So that and I think there's a short, what do you have to
As long as you have.
So we either need
So I
to
don't know
just
what
go to
we're
the
gonna
buzz-in or,
Yeah, let's go to the buzz. It's bad
if
coffee.
Brian happened to come in,
Oh.
we could use his, maybe we could use his place, but if he doesn't,
I don't have to go on that day, so I can
his
definitely.
member from last week, Lori,
Yeah, she's awesome.
I put her on our list, on my email list. So I sent her, James didn't get the bulletin out until late yesterday, so I sent it to her last night. She said,
I know, it's been.
come tomorrow. My husband, it's my birthday, and my husband surprised me with a getaway, and we won't be back till Sunday, so I just said, hey, happy birthday.
Yeah.
No problem, come back and join us next
So
week.
you have it
That's
on
all.
the outside?
I think
Love
she's
it.
gonna join.
Good, I hope she does, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah,
But, you know, then you open it up.
yeah, that is something.
You're all good, yeah, for sure.
Watch a movie.
It's heavy,
Is that your dog?
yeah,
What kind of a girly dog is it?
yeah. Well,
Where's the German Shepherd?
I met a girlfriend.
Oh,
And it was her,
Enough said,
yeah.
enough
Yeah, you said September 8th. Are you guys gonna do like some, we probably don't even.
She's just a money grubber, you don't.
Oh, Here's the start for you. They love it.
Yeah, I'll get there early, just to be sure.
Yeah, those are all the cups we have.
And what.
Because everybody brings their own cups. $2.
We need to make paper cups.
Are we out in the
This
closet?
is all, these are all paper cups we have.
Okay.
Where's it gonna be?
Well, everybody else is wearing them.
I'm not sure about.
I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty cool. You got a Facebook account?
Hey, Ken,
Yeah.
I need a USB. Can I pull your little mouse thing out and just set it next to your mouse?
Sure.
Okay.
Or just, yeah, throw it, just give me all that stuff.
It'll be sitting right next to it here.
Isn't there one available?
What do you need?
Need a little bit of.
I know.
Go with large movement.
Oh, look at that, you got the tripod, nice.
That kinda gets, just wanted to get a
Very
little
nice,
audience.
Don, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there we go.
Ugly shirt.
Yeah.
Ugly.
Yeah, I
I
can't think
thought I was wearing my duck shirt.
I think that's all microphone. We can try the microphone.
On your laptop, is that the same one you had last time?
No, that's just the Rotary's laptop.
Okay, do you have, HDMI hookup?
I got an adapter, so
Oh,
it
yeah,
has one.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're all set up, I don't need to bring you anything anymore.
So theoretically, we got a shotgun mic too, so.
What do I do anyway?
Oh, that's cool. Because right now, we're probably just using the,
Do you have anything you got?
I just took it, you know, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool, that's good. Okay, that's 3.5 headphone jack. Nice.
Yeah.
Are we out of paper cups in the supply room?
Yeah.
Oh, we do, okay. I wasn't sure if we needed.
What's all that?
So, this is, okay, so right now we're connected to the phone. So if you want to connect with the mic, you'll have to swap.
After I got an education, I went there.
Oh, you got the phone set up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do the mic next time.
Yeah, we can mic next
If
time.
you've got that all set up, we're just gonna try it out. Pardon me?
Is anyone in the meeting right now?
There you are.
I thought it was, you tried to get in there, but they wouldn't let you, so you reserved the one.
No, they wouldn't let me in.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, they weren't willing to pay for my college, like WSU was.
yeah, let's see.
You know, it's weird, I never even got.
Okay. I'm just curious to see if the audio goes through the phone.
I got recruited from
Yeah. This actually works pretty good, and the future ones, we're gonna use this and point it at wherever the voice is coming from.
BY, what?
So I need to try that, or I need-
You won't today, only maybe when it goes to like, what do you call it, happy bucks, just turn it toward the audience. But normally,
So we're not using that anymore.
well, we're gonna try to wean ourselves from that, so we just bring our computer in and set up.
Awesome.
Okay,
I love that we can see the people. All the awesome people. Can we get more people and less podium? Have you been? Flip it on, turn it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
One day I'm good and next day I'm not. Or, turn a little more, a little bit. Yeah, see, now we have a lot more.
well, look, no, we need to get
Gary.
more her. We can move you out a little bit.
No, I'm good. I'm good behind the scenes.
No, we gotta do better than that.
I'll leave that up to you guys, for sure.
Thank you very much.
You don't need to move it, it's good, we're good. I don't want
Okay, but now, I guess this is just the way the tables are for today, because everyone's over here. What's that? Sometimes I read their reading glasses. They don't work as well.
Yeah, I feel like that. I need to have computer glasses and I have driving glasses.
We're also, isn't this amazing? Look at our new setup. We don't need laptops all over the room and all the cords and all the things.
How is that? You don't need, how is that?
That's my interpretive IT dance. So if everybody is here already, let's get rolling a little early if possible, and no late fines, of course, because we need
I think
to,
we still need to find people who are late.
okay, well,
If you're not early, you're late.
ding, we're, okay. Yeah, Boy Scout. Okay, so today there's a district training or something going on in the room, so we need to be done and then out the door by 8:30 so they can get in and do their thing. So let's do an abbreviated meeting with, who wants to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I do.
Ken?
Yep. Pretend like there's a flag.
There's one in the
Wait a minute, look at that picture right there.
Here it is.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'll put the light.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Four-way test?
The four-way test is the things we think, say, or do. First.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will the bill and
Come on now, boys.
He's gonna pick up the all concern.
And number 5?
Is it fun?
And number 6?
Aloha bacon. Yeah.
Okay, so can we see if we have any Zoomers on here?
Yeah, I'll
Zoomer.
get in here.
Look at that Zoomer.
We got a Zoomer today.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Good morning, Lance. We're starting a little early. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, awesome. We're gonna start a little early because we need to be out the door by 8:30. We're gonna end at 8:15, so we're rolling. Okay, so Miss Eileen.
Yes, today's quote is, "It's not who we are that holds us back, it's who we think we're not."
That's really good.
Isn't that great?
That's really good.
That's my favorite.
And short. Okay, so they're gonna skip all the committees other than Corks and Cakes. We'll have a Corks and Cakes committee, and then we're gonna move on to our evening club report. And then from there, we'll do birthdays and then move on to our amazing speaker, Mr. Kim Daughtry, Councilman. Okay, so Chris, do you wanna give a quick?
Yeah, quick
Corks and Cakes?
A quick overview. We have a web presence now, thanks to Eileen. There's a couple of questions there that we'll answer maybe in a sub-meeting after this, if we have time. We want to keep our ticket sales going strong. I hope that's going good. I know Jim was selling a whole bunch last night. So, and sponsorships, there's never not enough, so that's really looking good. We've had more than ever, so, you know, if we could get a few more of those, it'd be great. And I've been working with Connor a little bit, a little phone tag right now, but we got the old list, so we're trying to get a hold of the other people. And I don't, and so we're trying to get a hold of the people that donated the last time and buyers, and we're also trying to get a hold of, some wineries. I know Tracy and Scott's working on that, as well as myself. I do have, through Steve, thanks Steve, I appreciate that, this is me here, yeah, for, San Michelle Winery, he's busy. And we've got their blessing to help out any way we can with wine and, tickets for events or wine tasting, so that's pretty awesome. And another thing is, we've got all of us, we've got to do 2 beers, 2 wines, and 2 baskets, no 1 basket, so at least 1 basket, so, yes.
Thank you. Can you please, if you've already donated an item, please email me the description form, because the sooner I get those, the sooner I can enter the items on the site, and then Rochelle can take the pictures, and then, poof, we just upload it. So please, 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 and fill it out completely. Sorry to be a nag, but it just makes my life easier. Thank you.
Like magic.
So that's pretty much it, and we're kind of looking for a place to do the YouTube setup, so we have a basket for cards here, it looks like, so that's awesome. Did I get that right?
You did. Our gift card garden is in bloom once again. So any of those random gift cards that you've been given as gifts, or if you've gotten in the mail, or just aren't gonna use, bring them in, and we'll put them in the garden. This is, a really good seller. At the auction, people always pay big money for gift cards, because then they can re-gift or whatever. Yeah, if you know the value, write it on the back or on the front. Black Sharpie always works well on gift cards. Or you don't. So are you going to have your Corks and Cakes after this meeting? Maybe you move it down to the Buzz, or?
Yeah, we can move it down to the Buzz in if anybody's interested in it, and the core team can go down there, we'll just be 10 minutes probably.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, if I miss you, I miss you, but, well.
Perfect.
So, Rochelle, what if we fill, like, I'm filling out a donation form for the basket and for my gift card, and so if we do that, then we have a tally of it.
Which would be amazing, but if it's on the back of the card,
That works too.
it'd be super amazing.
Oh, okay, well, then I'm not.
It's nice when you hand it to someone.
Because someone's gonna go, like, they're just gonna hand them off to us, and then we'll, just to double, make sure, because there have been years that we had no idea how much it was worth, and so
The
then we.
person that gets the card doesn't have a clue. So
Yeah,
put it on
yeah.
there, yeah, let them know, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so our evening club, Ron, do you have a?
Yeah, I'll give a quick report. So we had a meeting last night at one of our favorite, meeting spots. So we decided we're gonna, start our, nighttime meetings on, September 7th. We'll run, the first and third Tuesday of the month. Hopefully at Brian's place, we haven't got total confirmation yet, so we just kind of, we're gonna tell them,
tried at meatheads, but they're so booked up that we couldn't. We're gonna do, the first night, we're gonna do a Taco Tuesday night, just to kick off the celebration, and, I think we're gonna get 3 tacos from Fuentes. And then we'll have some water and, other libations there to celebrate. Quick rundown, this is gonna be an hour, try to keep it to an hour meeting or so. It'll be the main concept, it'll be like a Rotary in action, so this group that meets on Tuesday will take on a service project. And we'll also, it'll be kind of a mentorship for our president nominee and our president-elect, where they can help run the meetings. Some of our younger members that when the nighttime meeting can run the meeting as well. We'll have a quick breakdown on, of the committees that we have at our Friday meeting, and, keep it simple, socialize, and other, do something good.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, you would like to do, so just quick happy bucks. Don, would you love to do that?
Wow,
Lexi?
a quick happy buck.
Do we have a, I'll do it.
You want,
We need to do the second.
you want Don to collect them?
Yeah.
You're gonna do a raffle real quick? Oh, you want me to do the raffle? That'd be fabulous. I'll do it. Okay. So we are still looking for a sergeant of arms, if anyone has a burning desire. Well, you can just draw a raffle ticket, this is just draw out of the ticket. You know,
How many dollars?
Already.
30392.
392.
392.
392. Did you win? And you're sitting next to each other?
Oh, just by one. By one.
If I could see, I would validate it. Awesome, good luck.
A W on the back. There it is.
Oh, but look, there you go, there's some happy luck. Okay, we'll do happy luck in the bucket today. We're gonna start over here, okay, Ken Collins?
Oh, am I happy?
Get happy.
Oh, don't worry, be happy. I'm happy that I'm going to, Coeur d'Alene today, to, engage in a, WSU football Cougar reunion from the classes of 1976 and the class of 1986 for Jim Walsh. He's like 85 years old. I don't know if you remember him. He was the head coach of the Cougs for a while. So, lots of guys are gonna be there, about 75, 80, ex, players at, WSU, so it's gonna be good to see them. My roommate, who, I roomed with at WSU, he's a wide receiver, got drafted by the Seahawks, his name's Jim Watley, has lived in Alabama since the day he graduated, and, I haven't seen him in 40 years, so it'll be great to see him back. Yeah.
Happy that football season is starting out.
Happy, I am, my last kid, I'm moving to college, Saturday, so I'm on the road trip to Arizona.
Oh, that's right.
All right, yeah.
Well, it has a lot of happy.
What's that?
It's Friday, so we're doors, so let's go, that's about 5 hours worth of drive.
But that's good, there's a lot. Are you happy, Mr.?
I am happy, we have a fantastic rotary.
There you go.
You have that light?
Yeah, we can hold it up. Look real.
He put his own picture on it.
1,100?
Is that his trust membership due?
I think you remember already.
Yeah. That guy needs a man.
Thank you very much. Thank you
So,
very much.
I think there should be a thing, if you do $100, it's, we call it a bell ringer. Oh, yeah.
Stay up there. Mr. Wolf,
Lorna and I are celebrating our 72nd
Anniversary.
Thank you very much. 70 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's another bell ringer, isn't it?
I think so too. Ring that bell, Don.
Ring that bell, Don. Ring some more bells. Okay. Okay, ready to go, Joyce?
I'm happy for the weather.
Cooler weather?
Cooler weather. So I have $1 from Madam President, who showed me how to use the tool to remove backgrounds from images, which makes me super happy.
Nice.
And I'm glad that Creative Giving is up.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Are you happy, Larry?
Yeah,
I'm
I
handy.
did a month's worth of Happy Bucks last week.
Well, thank you very much. Are you happy, Brian?
My son graduated at day school.
Yeah, there
You got a haircut?
Yeah, I got a haircut. We had a couple of good events this week, and actually, Brian said we can go over to his office right after this.
Good clubhouse?
But Tuesday night.
Brian? Are you happy? I'm happy. I'm sad that I won't be in the Rotary meetings live, but really happy to go back to the class. Yay.
All right.
So I originally had $2 because it's Friday, but then I saw, Tim here, and not only came amazing, but he, did all of the work when we remodeled our kitchen and our bathroom. Holy cow, this man is talented. So $20 in honor.
Yay!
Let's go, Leonard.
Thank
Stay up there. Here's dollars. That's about right.
I think I jinxed it if I stay up there.
Wonderful day, great meeting last night, for the Rotarians in Action Club.
Please take note of the bountiful harvest over here. And, my garden is producing faster than I can, So there's green beans, there's tomatoes, there's rhubarb, there's a few jalapenos. Oh, what? No, that's acorn squash. Acorn squash? Yeah. I'm not sure what else is in there, but please help me know. Look at this. And they're clean.
I didn't wash
You want
it.
that?
I rinsed them.
Thank you. Well, there's a little tiny baby guy in here.
That is a jalapeno. Be careful.
Be careful. Rub your eyes, you know.
Yep, so,
This is wonderful.
so please,
Yeah.
the more you take, the less I have to, process, so please help yourself.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Oh, no.
So let's do,
But on the, string.
what? Oh, yeah, our Zoomers. Zoomers, are you guys happy?
and.
Lance is going for a field goal.
Also here.
Okay, who wants to go first and be happy?
That was
Lance?
$10 happy.
Oh, it wasn't a field goal? Or a self, like voguing, were you voguing? Awesome, thank you, that's a bell ringer, I'm just gonna ring the bell. Sam, are you happy? Happy.
Yes, happy. I will give $5 happy bucks, please.
Thank you. How about you, Sean, are you happy? Well, you're probably not happy.
Yeah.
Not happy.
I'm happy to be in the meeting.
Happy to be in the meeting.
Absolutely. It's definitely worth $10 any chance I get to be here on a Friday morning.
Thank you. Oh, bell ringer. Thank you. Jack, are you happy?
Sure.
He's super happy. Okay, Steve Hobbs, are you ready? Are you happy?
Well, I kind of wish I was home. I'm never home. I'm here at Fort Meade and I got to do homework, but luckily they gave us the day off today. So that's nice to do homework. So, but I'm glad I'm in this meeting. So, I guess throw in $5 if I ever make it back. I don't know when I'm gonna make it back. So I miss you all.
Do you have Venmo?
No, I don't.
Yeah, to think about that.
We'll start a tab, don't we?
Maybe just do an IOU or something. I don't know. I'll be back home eventually.
Perfect. Okay, we're happy? Everyone's happy?
How about Jim?
There,
He looks really happy.
there he is. Jim, sorry, I didn't have my glasses on, I couldn't see you. Good morning.
Good morning. I've got 5 happy bucks. We're down at our Hood Canal home with all 13 of our families. So it's quite chaotic, but so much fun, and we're having a great time.
That sounds fun. Okay, awesome, thank you. Okay, birthdays. So for this week, we have the lovely, hello? Eileen Levering. Birthday. Do you want the gauntlet or singing?
I want Sammy to sing.
That cost you.
Sam, can you sing in 2 minutes and take us into our speaker?
I can sing in 2 minutes, yes. You want me,
Okay,
yeah,
so
do
quick,
you want me to,
let's do that. Let's just say spouse's birthday, Missy.
Yeah, my wife's birthday.
FYI, August 20th. Anniversaries, Lord and Lorna, 72 years. Brian Ruiz has one coming up on the 25th, and we don't have any Rotary anniversaries. Okay, take us away, Sam.
happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, Miss Eileen, happy birthday to you, and many more.
That was amazing. Don, do you want to introduce our speaker?
Well, sure. Jim Daughtry, one of our city council members, is here to talk about what's going on around town and maybe a few takes on all that.
Yep, we'll see what we can do. So last night, I was writing down a few notes. Because there's lots happening in the city, and unfortunately, Sean Frederick is gonna be watching me. I'm a little worried about that. But anyway, everybody see me? Hey, Steve, I really miss you, man. So we don't have much time, so I'm just gonna tell you a few things that are going on that I think are important in the city. One of those things is, we're working on parks. We're trying to find some more parks for the city, some specialized parks for the city. One's gonna be hopefully a pump track for the kids. That like to do the BMX biking and things like that, so we're looking for that. We're looking to increase parks anywhere we can. The Power Line Trail is starting up right now. We're getting ready to do all that. The 20th Street Park will be going underway. We're still working on the park over at Frontier Village or Frontier Heights. And I also realized that the mayor was here not long ago, so I'm kind of just saying the same things he probably told you. So what I really want to talk about today is some other things that are happening in the city that a lot of people don't know about. And it's nothing really bad, but it's really, really awesome. How many of you knew that we actually have a youth advisory council now in Lake Stevens? One. Oh, no, see, nobody knows about this.
There's two.
Oh, yeah, well, he would say so because he's on the youth advisory council with me. So, yeah, he'd better know we have one. So for the past 10 years, I've been trying to get a youth advisory council in Lake Stevens, and we finally got it happening. And most notably, it's really due to Steve Ewing actually made it happen because he found some kids that were actually interested in doing it, and he kind of put it together. We threw it all together really quick, got him in a meeting with Sean Frederick, myself, and Steve, and 8 young sophomores out of the school system. And I'll tell you what, these kids are awesome. They took up what we wanted to do or what they wanted to do. We said, this is what we think you ought to do. They decided what they're going to do, and they are just running with it. They have gone so far as to say, okay, how do we want to formulate our youth advisory council? They asked us what we thought about it. We told them there's 2 ways of doing it. You could be a actual commission to the city, which means you're under these rules, and people like Sean and I and the rest of the council would pick what you're doing. Or you could be your own council, and you get to pick your own path because you don't have any rules and stuff, and nobody's going to be watching over you and telling you what you need to do. Sean Frederick, Steve Ewing, and I told them until we could find somebody to be their mentor or their advisor from the school system, if we could find one of those, that we would fill in for those positions right now. And they just took off. They decided they're going to be a council, and they decided what they're going to be doing. They've got 4 or 5 things they're working on all the time, and they're just great. So I want you guys to watch and see what the Youth Advisory Council is doing. They're going to be coming to the city council and giving recommendations on things that the youth are really interested in, and I can't wait. It's going to be great. So they've already had some community projects that they've worked on. They've worked with the food bank. They did some weeding over on 91st Street, and they're looking for other projects to do. They're doing a whole lot of social media posts on helping kids get things like how to deal with what's going on with the mask mandates, those kinds of things. They're talking about all kinds of stuff on the social media to help kids, to give them links and things for them to download and find out all the information they need. So they're really working on this thing. Sean, do you got anything to add to that? No,
I think you're covering it really well. I mean, what's really exciting is the energy and motivation that the youth are bringing to it. They really have kind of taken it on, and they're not shy. They have taken each of us to task at different points, even asking why we voted the way we did on certain items. They're certainly making sure that they're aware of what the city council is doing, and they're
yeah,
really
Sean, we're not hearing you too good.
Oh, sorry. As you could imagine, I'm probably breaking a lot of equipment over the past year and a half. This computer's in the process of failing. What I was saying was the youth have put a lot of energy and motivation into what they've been doing. They've even been challenging us on how we voted on different topics and trying to get better context on what the individual thought processes are among city council members. So it's really refreshing to see that level of engagement from our youth, and really looking forward to seeing that work continue and grow over time.
Yeah, they send 2 people out of their council to the council meetings every week. So it doesn't matter what's going on. They send 2 people, then they go back and they report out what's going on. They found a couple of things that they weren't very happy with. They had a big conversation about it. What do we do about this and stuff? And I think we finally got them to understand that if you really are going to be upset about something, you need to read ahead and find out what we're going to talk about, because sometimes when we vote, it's already done. And you can be upset after the fact, but that's the way we voted. If you really want to have a voice, you need to keep up with what's going on and come in and give us your voice so we can maybe make up our minds on something. I know Sean and I both on the council have had our minds made up at the council meeting after we already thought we knew how we were going to vote. Somebody might speak up on the council and say something that we didn't think about, and that might sway my vote. I know Steve Ewing's done that to me. Sean's done it to me a couple of times. Even Mary Dickinson did it to me. I was really surprised about that. Mary's quite the lady, but sometimes she just kind of doesn't have a lot to say, so you never know what's really going to come out. So it's kind of fun to have all these people on the council that have their different ways of looking at things. Another thing to think about that I'm starting, or there's a few of us in the community looking at starting a Sea Scout troop. And I don't know if anybody knows what Sea Scouts are. They are right now. They are a part of the Scouts. When I was in the Sea Scouts back in the 60s and 70s. Damn, it was a long time ago. They weren't part of the Boy Scouts of America. They actually were rivals, trying to get the kids away from each other and stuff like that. It was kind of fun to watch when you were back there. But we had fun rivalships with the Boy Scouts, and but the Sea Scouts had. I was in Tacoma. We had an 81-foot, what we called a rum runner, and it actually was a rum runner. Back in the 30s, it chased the rum runners on the Mississippi River, and so it's a really old boat. It's a Coast Guard vessel a long time ago. It also, during World War II, was out on the coast and was one of the patrol boats out on the coast for World War II, watching for Japan to come in. So the kids basically are 11 or 12 years old all the way up to 18 are Sea Scouts. 18 to 21 are junior officers, and above 21 are officers. And the kids run that boat. I saw a 12-year-old disassemble the main engine, great big diesel engine. The kids did that with just their one dad sitting in the corner watching. He was a diesel mechanic. And he didn't lift a finger. He made them do the whole thing. They tore it down, put it back together, and ran fine. So they maintained the vessel. They also had some sailboats that they raced. We taught sailing and things like that. I used to race every other weekend or so down in the bay on 21-foot San Juan class. So I saw a post on Facebook a little while ago about sailing on the lake. And all of a sudden I had all these memories about sailing in the Pacific Northwest and racing with the Sea Scouts. And I got to wondering, how come we don't have a Sea Scout troop? So the way I'd like to set it up, and what we have a few people thinking about, is setting up a Sea Scout troop with maybe the Rotary Scout troop as the sponsor for this, something we need to talk about, because we do need a sponsor. And what I'd like to do is start it out with, okay, let's build some sailboats. They're small boats, they're only 16 feet long. They're a Sunfish class racing boat. The kids can build the boats. We get some mentors in to teach them the woodworking skills, safety, those kinds of things. Have them build the boat, teach them how to sail, teach them how to race, and have some fun. Teach the seamanship. I've already talked to the boat down in Tacoma. I've talked to the boat, we call them boats for the Sea Scout troops. Talked to the boat in Tacoma, talked to the boat in Anacortes, I talked to the boat in Olympia. They would be fine for bringing our kids down to see the big boats and go out on them once in a while. So I think it'd be a great time. So I'm looking for people that want to get involved, and how can we make this happen and get a Sea Scout troop in Lake Stevens and have a sailing, have some sail races out on the lake. I know sometimes you look at the lake and you only have 2 hours of wind. It's the same every day, but so we know when it is. But the other thing is, I think I found a building to be able to host it in. Actually, what I did is I told the mayor we were going to take one of the city buildings and make that happen. After the museum leaves it, it's going to be the Sea Scout.
Is that building adequate to actually build the boats?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that actually is. So it's got plenty of room in it to build a couple boats at a time, and you could have the scouts in there to have their lessons and a meeting place and things like that. We'll see how that goes. I told him kind of facetiously, but he knows that that I mean it. So anyway, that's another thing that's happening in Lake Stevens. How am I doing on time? Not too well. Okay. So what I'd like to do for the rest of the time is open it up to questions, because I'll answer any question that you have that talks about the city or the programs that I'm interested in. Oh, by the way, I wanted to start this out by thanking you for making me the Rotary Citizen of the Year. That's an honor. As you know, I pretty well get into everything that's going on in the city. I really enjoy it. We have a great city. Rotary is a big part of that, and I appreciate everything you guys do. And I owe a lot to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody should know about that story in the Everett Herald today about the illegal bridge that's a year old.
Okay, so we're getting a lot of news on Lake Stevens lately in the Herald. A lot of it comes in as a negative connotation, and it actually isn't. So the Herald, I haven't read the article myself, so I don't know what the flavor of it is, but I can imagine. When we were doing the cleaning out the canals for the outflow of the lake, we had a permit to do that from the Department of Ecology and Fish and Wildlife. To clean the canal, try to take care of the flooding down here in Lake Stevens in the downtown area. We always get this flooding during the winter, and it's really bad. So we came up with a plan to figure out how to take care of part of that. Got a permit, went out and dredged all the lane through there. At the same time, because of the bridge that went across into North Cove Park from South Lake Stevens Road, South Lake Stevens Road, we decided to bolster, because we're going to put one back. We bolstered the sides of the stream there with some concrete pads for the new bridge to be on. So it turns out that wasn't part of the permit. So we got in trouble. And so, but that happened, like over a year ago, or about a year ago. So this is old news. I don't know why it's in the Herald. I have a a feeling of why it's in the Herald, but I don't know, I don't really understand why it's coming up now. But yeah, we did make a mistake. We put this in without being under a permit. Got our hands slapped, and we won't do it again. And we got to wait for a fish window so we can do it, put in for a different permit. So those things happen. We really thought it was under the permit, and it wasn't. So that's what happens.
What's the bridge gonna be used
It's
for?
going to be a pedestrian bridge to get off South Lake Stevens into North Cove Park into the new play area
I
there.
kinda figured there'd be no reason for.
That's where the old bridge was, that went into those small houses over there,
Mhm.
cottages, whatever they were, that's where it was. So we're gonna put another one in, but it needed to be rebuilt. Go ahead.
I've got another question, but first, I think your Sea Scout idea is a great one.
Thank you.
That would be, very fitting for Lake Stevens to have something on the lake that's kind of a program like that. As well as the greater aspect of it, of getting kids involved in operating and maintaining larger vessels. But question for you, several months ago, there was a survey that was taken for the 3 options on the new city complex.
Civic Center and Library?
Yeah, was there a decision made on that?
No, not yet.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, tomorrow, on 25th, we're going into a retreat. The council's going into a retreat, and we're going to be seeing the results of that survey and trying to figure out what we're doing with the Civic Center and Library. There's a little bit of consternation now between the library and the city, and it's not big, but it's a little bit of a difference of opinion on how the Civic Center and the library should be built. You all know we need to go for a bond in order to build either one of those. So part of the question is, do we do a bond together, or do we do split bonds or whatever? I'm not sure how that's gonna go, but we have to bond it no matter what. Out of those 3 different ways of making the Civic Center, actually a 4th one came out. We call it a hybrid of the number 3 and number 2. And we think that's the way it's gonna go, because a lot of times when you have those things and somebody says, well, why don't you do this part of this and this part of this, it comes out better. And we think it is, but we don't know how it's actually gonna go. But we have not given up on the Civic Center and the library idea. We need a new library, even though they're just moving in there at the end of this month. We need a new library for the city. It's necessary. There's a lot of questions from the citizens on what should be in that library and what shouldn't be in that library. Why are we spending so much money on this and that? Those questions have got to be answered. So, and of course, we've had 2 bonds fail on the library already. Is that going to happen again? I don't know. I hope not. Anything else? Rochelle?
What's the status of, 204 and 9?
Okay, 204 and 9, if you look and see, there's construction going on out there right now. That's basically called phase 2. Phase 1 was really small, so just a couple of years ago, nobody really saw it happen. Phase 2 right now is widening the Highway 9 going south from Frontier Village on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. And then also part of phase 2 is if you're coming north on Highway 9, you're going to be able to turn right at 4th Street to go behind Target and get into Frontier Village that way. So that right now is a right out only. Now it's going to be a right in, right out. That's what that's going to be. That's setting it up so that next year when they start tearing apart Highway 9 and 204, there's going to be a way to get into Frontier Village and way to get out. So that's setting up to help with that, because as you all can realize, that's going to be a pain when we start tearing that apart. So, I mean, it's one of the most used intersections on all of Highway 9, and it's the most dangerous intersection on all of Highway 9. And so we need to get that thing fixed. I've been working on that with Steve for, 12 years now, right, Steve? Trying to get that done. He's frozen.
I have a question.
Got the money for Highway 9 204 in 2015 during Connecting Washington. We worked really hard to get that. And it got put on hold by the governor, and, things just keep happening. It's on the first list of Connecting Washington, but it's just been put on hold. So we had a plan for doing a different way. Now it's going to be a roundabout. It wasn't going to be that way to begin with. But it turns out that if you're sitting up there on Highway 9204, you're sitting on a small lake. There's a lot of water under there. I don't understand that because, there's a hill down here and a hill down here. Why is the water sitting there? But there seems to be a bowl under there that holds water. And so in order to do the cut and have the Highway 9 go down and back up again, we would have had to have a very expensive pumping station. And that just wasn't in the cards.
Hello.
So,
Hello. Hi. Steve had something that he wanted to say.
Oh, thank you. First of all, thanks, Kim. You've been wonderful to work with, and you too, Sean, and the whole city actually. But I do want to apologize for everyone for, the 2049 taking so long. I wasn't supposed to, but the recession and the governor the governor did try to freeze it, and there was a little bit of I want to try to put it in a nice way, but let's say the governor and I had some differences of opinion, and we sorted it all out. But unfortunately, because it was delayed just by 1 or 2 months, I think this was last year, the year before, it pushed us out of the construction season. So now I am pleased to see that everything is back on track. And then finally, we're going to get 2049 done. And so anything that you all can do in support of that by just, sending out email. You don't have to send an email to me because I know you like me, but I didn't like the project. But letting all our other legislators know, especially the governor's office, let them know not to put our project on the pause list, because whenever something happens, for whatever reason, that project gets on the pause list. And so my fear is, I think we're gonna have a transportation package through from the federal government, and the state will probably do ours. So things are looking good, but I'm just worried about what's happening with COVID and maybe another downturn. And so even though the chances are small, we don't want to be put on the pause list again, because the problem is every time we pause, the construction costs go up on this project, and I have to find more money to put into 2049. So anyway, thank you for the good work that the city is doing to help us move this along.
Yeah, I'd also like to put in a plug for our September 10th meeting. The State Department of Transportation has been, appears to plan to be very gracious with their time, with access to many of the engineers and such involved in the project. So there'll be our program on September 10th that I'd love to see people come with questions, and it'll also be a good opportunity to hear more about the details and some graphics, that type of thing. So also, hopefully the city council might be interested in tuning into that, because it'll be on Zoom, of course, and everything. Just trying to get as many good questions out there as we can.
yeah, I saw that on the list of things that's coming up, so it's going to be there too.
Hello.
Jim.
Hello.
Hey, Kim, I'm wondering if you can give an update on Soper Hill and Highway 9.
Unfortunately, I can't really give too much of an update on that. The only thing I know about that is the road should be open here pretty soon. I'm not really sure what the definition of soon is. We still do not know what's going on the south side. There's a lot of talk about an AM, PM type gas station going in there or whatever. I just talked to a guy that does the construction for AM, PM, and he said, yeah, that's not likely. They've got some problems, so I don't really know what's going on there. We've not had any permits drawn in that area that I'm aware of. They're building the pads up at the north side of that for different things, and then the senior medical facility that they're having up there. So I don't, and I haven't seen all the permits come through on that, so I can't really tell you who's what. I know they are looking for a coffee company to come in, like Starbucks, but Diedrich is trying to get in there too, so we'll see what happens there. And that's about all I know on that one, Lance. Sorry to say. We haven't had a lot of updates at the council on that. Hopefully we're going to get more on during our permit or our retreat at the end of this month. Jim,
So we have a new, police chief, Jeff,
Jeff Bezos, yes.
Can you tell me, what's the selection process? How'd that work?
Selection process on this one was totally internal. Once the chief decided he was leaving, and he didn't let anybody know except the mayor and Gene, he decided he was leaving, he immediately put Jeff Bezos in for his replacement. And the mayor and Gene, which is their purview, is the staff, decided that he was absolutely correct, is that Jeff would be an excellent police chief for the city of Lake Stevens. Jeff has been a resident of Lake Stevens forever. He came to Lake Stevens Police just as the chief did, or John Dyer did, and with his leadership, along with John Dyer's and a couple of other people, they basically turned our police department around. And a lot of you could probably remember back, 12 years ago, when we were having all kinds of trouble with the police department, just personalities and leadership and things like that. And as of 5-6 years ago, when John Dyer got here, things have just totally turned around. And going from a police department that was looked down upon by all of our cities around us to, we need to call Lake Stevens and see what they can help with, because they're the ones to look at. So they should be really proud of what John Dyer did. Jeff Bezos was right in the trenches with him doing that. He knows exactly what happened and how that came to be, and he's going to be a great chief. The other thing about that is it really saves us a lot of money when you think about it, because it costs a lot of money to go out and recruit for something like that. So it saved us some money. We got a great candidate, and we didn't need to go through the entire process. I've been through that process way too many times. I didn't want to do it again anyway. But yeah, Jeff is going to be a great guy.
No, I just want to throw my endorsement in for Jeff Bezos. He's fantastic. We've worked a lot with him when he was commander, just on school safety stuff. Absolutely first-class professional, to be an excellent public servant. He'll be great for the city of Lake.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Nothing but good experience.
Had both his kids in class, so.
Well, now we know why they're so good. Anything else?
Festival Street.
What?
Festival Street.
Okay, Festival Street. Yeah, Festival Street. I'm not going to talk about that building, because I don't know anything about
No,
it.
don't have about the building, just the street.
So Festival Street, which we're going to call the Mill Spur, and if you look at an old map of the downtown Lake Stevens, it actually was called Mill Spur for a while. We're putting in Festival Street right next to the community center there, the mill, and goes towards the lake, right down there where the library and the museum used to be. And it'll be you got the Grimm House is going to be on the south, or I guess you call it southwest corner of that street. And then the museum will be next in line. I'm not sure what's going to be in between that. And there's going to be a commercial building built right on Main Street on the south side of Mill Spur. 3 stories, multi-use type commercial building. Not sure what's really going in there. There's rumors, of course. There's always rumors. But we don't have anything on that. We do know we have one person that wants to build it. We went out for an RFP on that. Only one company came through. They want to build it, but we don't know anything about it yet. There's just a lot of rumors of what could go in there. Commercial on the bottom, offices in the middle, condos on the top, maybe a white linen restaurant on the top. There's all kinds of things. And what did they call that one, Rochelle?
Martini and oyster bar.
Yeah, Martini and Oyster Bar. Yeah, we really need that in Lake Stevens. So there's a lot of rumors going on about what that could be, but there is going to be a commercial building there. We need more of that. I'm opting for an ice cream shop and things like that, because I want something that I would do. Martinis just doesn't cut it for me.
That's it for me.
Festival Street is set up to be basically that, a festival street. It's flat, doesn't have gutters in it, doesn't have any of that. People can set up their tents really easy. We can close it off. There's going to be a road closure thing, like an old railroad closing there. So we close it off and we can drive through there and have festivals there. Hopefully that's going to alleviate closing off Main Street, less often. I'm sure we're still gonna close it down for Aquafest, but there you go. And yeah, so Festival Street's really cool. It's been part of the vision for the park for a long time, and we're gonna make it happen. Underway right now. Moving dirt. I already moved the Grimm house, it's set down and repositioned 90 degrees to where it sat before. They're gonna be doing a nice little yard around that with a white picket fence and do a cottage garden and all that kind of stuff. The museum's doing some great work on that. The museum will be built next, I think, it's coming up. Sorry about that. Where was I? We don't really know how the museum is going to be built yet. We do have a print on it on how we think it's going to look, and the museum is looking to see how they can fit in there. I talked with the museum a couple of weeks ago. They've got some great plans for their displays, things in there. That'll be interesting. So yeah, everything's moving. We're moving quick. There's a lot of things happening in the city. We're moving fast.
Is the museum gonna be an independent building, or is it gonna be part of that new commercial building?
It's going to be an independent building, the museum, and it won't be attached. I think there's actually going to be a little bit of parking behind that commercial building. I think that's what the plan is.
So we have 1 minute. What about, give a quick 1 minute update on the top of Chapel Hill?
Yeah, there's not really anything happening right now.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And so as a thank you, we do make a donation to the Education Foundation, which I know you love, in your name. And that's it. Have a great weekend. We're going to do a meeting at the Buzz for Corks and Cakes, and then we have a Highland meeting, don't we? Also? Yeah. What do you want to? Over Brian's place. So over Brian's for both?
Yeah.
Or are we splitting them?
Loser. Go ahead.
Loser? Okay. Have a good weekend. Talk to Lori. She might have some. Goodbye, Zoomers.
Drink more coffee. Got